Get ready. It's time for the Idaho Podcast with your host, Danny Ventura. Welcome to the Idaho Podcast, where we feature the people who live, work, and play in Idaho. Today, my guest is Steve Celi, and Steve is a local musician and artist who recently moved to Idaho. And Steve, we're just really happy to have you on the show today.
I'm happy to be here, Dan. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So, Steve, what's your Idaho story? What brought you here? How long have you been here?
Sure, this is an hour podcast, or we have more time than that?
Thank goodness I have editing capabilities.
So, no, I native Southern California, was born and raised 56 years. And then my kids were out of the house, the two older ones. The youngest was on her way to college. She had a few choices of colleges, and one of them being Boise State. And my wife just wanted a change of environment, wanted 4 seasons. She wanted to kind of, stuff was going on in California that she didn't like politically and just kind of that thing. But there were just some changes in the air that might need to have been met. And quite honestly, I didn't have a really good reason to say, no, I got to stay here, because my work allowed me to travel and to just have an internet connection. I was fine to do I do work from home. So she thought, well, let's try South Florida, where a lot of her family's from, maybe Nashville, because it's music and whatever. And then we have some very good friends of ours that moved in, I believe, 2016 to Eagle, right here in Idaho. And they kept inviting us to visit. I'm like, Idaho? Ohio, Iowa, Idaho, whatever. Let's go visit. Fell in love with it pretty much the first time we came. And what stood out for me is just the culture and the attitude of the people. Very welcoming, waving at strangers for no reason. Never happens in Southern. Sorry, SoCal for that, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about.
Truth is truth. That's
so. Anyway, so we experienced the warmth and so kind of the quaintness of the downtown, and just had an overall good vibe our first trip. Then we kept getting invited back, and we just kind of came to the decision, especially after my youngest, Gabby, got accepted to BSU as a nursing major. And
congratulations.
So that was kind of the final little thing there. So
everything fell in place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, with the exception of the Boise State college student, your story sounds very similar to mine. As far as what brought us here and what really why we left California. Tell
us about yourself, Dan.
We don't have that kind of time. But well, thanks for sharing that. That's a cool story. I know music is a big part of who you are, and your nickname is the Music Man, even. But has music been the focus of pretty much your entire life?
For probably most of it. Everything comes down to it. I couldn't, shake that bug. I'm a business major, but I still had to do stuff in my career that's centered around music. I just want to say, so I don't forget, I'm a husband and a father of 3. So that's been a very big part of my life, is being married to Yvette for 33 years, and kind of my high school sweetheart.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And we have that in common as well.
And we congratulate her for putting up with me, actually. That's better directed. But so being a dad has been a very important part of my life. My kids are everything to me. But beyond that, I remember vividly as a child having these music memories, playing my tennis racket with the Beatles back when I was 5 and 6 years old, and then picking up an album of Elton John's greatest hits and literally looking at it at 8 years old, going, I want to do this for the rest of my life, hearing him and how that moved me. Yet at such a young age, it was weird. So that the kind of, after all those impressions, that never left me. And then when I was like 12, I got into a little band with, in middle school there, in high school. And then I kind of just got away from kind of playing music a little bit. But one more thing is high school mixed choir. Playing the choir was so important because I love singing. That's about my favorite thing to do. And that's kind of how I got going. The music bug never left me as a career. When I kind of hit my stride there, I was a music supervisor for about 22 years. And to this day, I'm kind of my 9 to 5 is licensing music. I work with a music publisher
Okay.
and a music catalog. So we license for film, TV, advertisements, and all that
Mhm.
kind of stuff. So music, you could say music, pretty good part of me.
Yeah, I would say so. And
Yeah.
music is a big part of my life as well. I feel like we're very simpatico in so many ways. But and who knew? Because
Oh,
I'm just getting to know you right now, so that's kind of cool.
as soon as we're done, I'm going to Google simpatico. So see what that's all about.
Oh man. So you shared a little bit about how music really shaped your life early on and how you really internalized it since you were 8 to 12 years old. But really, why is it so important to you, and how does that translate to your audiences? Why is music so important to you, and how does it translate to your audiences?
Wow, that is a good one, Dan. It just feels like music just makes me tick. I mean, it just feeds my soul, and I know it sounds cliche a little bit like that, but it just makes me go. I'm always, I ask my wife, I wake up singing and humming and all that, and same thing going to bed. I'm always, my mind is stimulated through music, and it feels like it's part of my soul, my heart and my passion, and hopefully when I do performances, some of that translates to the fans, to the crowd, to the patrons of the wineries and restaurants that I play at. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And I know you brought your guitar with you.
just in case,
maybe you can just share a little.
yeah, maybe I can.
The old "If you hum a few bars,"
I'll hum a few bars, and I'll do it because it's easier for me to do than talking.
I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, so I apologize. But
Yeah, I do feel comfort in playing versus talking. So sometimes it's just I feel less nervous when I'm singing.
oh,
Ironically, but I'm in an Eagles tribute band,
mhm.
and I do solo shows around town. But so what I'll do is I'll do one of the Eagles songs real quick, just a
Sure.
quick snippet of it, if that's
Sounds
okay.
great.
You
Sounds
oblige
great.
me.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Let's see if it is. Every night I'm lying in bed, holding you close in my dreams, thinking about all the things that we say, coming upon at the seams. We try to talk it over, but the words come out too rough. I know you were trying, give me the best of your love. Beautiful faces, loud empty places. Look at the way that we live, wasting our time, cheap talking wine, left us so little to give. That same old crowd was like a cold dark cloud that we could never rise above. But here in my heart, I give you the best of my love. Whoa, 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 sweet darling, you get the best of my love. Whoa, whoa, sweet darling, you get the best of my love. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Thanks for sharing that.
Thanks, Dan, for obliging me on that.
Absolutely. And it does come out of you. Watching you play, you can feel it viscerally how important music is to you. And I asked you how it translates to your audience, and I just felt how it translates to your audience. So appreciate you doing that. And hopefully the listeners do the same thing. Right. So you mentioned you were in a Eagles tribute band,
yes,
and you were considered the Don Henley of that band. I think the band was called the Dark Desert Highway.
Dark Desert Highway,
appropriately named after.
But still around.
And
yeah.
So you still get the band back together once in a while.
We do, and I the reason I'm the Don Henley is because I'm self-appointed. I started the band. I came up with the name, and I'll tell you the nexus is that the word nexus?
Sure,
The,
Nexus.
the genesis of the band.
That's a different band, by the way.
Yeah,
Okay. Phil
the
Collins.
genesis of the Eagles tribute band. But no, we started it back as a kind of a bucket list thing for my 50th birthday. My wife Yvette was like, "What do you want to do?" We're thinking we were going to go maybe take a trip somewhere, and I said, "No, I just want to have a big backyard party and form an Eagles tribute show, whatever, something like that, you know." And she goes, "Okay, you can do that." And so we did it. Put my musician friends together that I had in the business. And then I of course, I had my brother, who's to this day is in the band with me. Kevin, my brother's Glenn Fry.
Okay.
And so he was a natural because we've been harmonizing since we were kids, the Eagles songs. And he'd always take his part and I'd take mine and I'd do the Don Henley part. So then my son just happened to be a child prodigy on the guitar and sing all the high harmonies. So we put the rest of the band together, and the drummer at the time said, "Hey, why are we stopping after this birthday party? Let's keep it going." So that's kind of how it evolved from there. And we were doing local shows, down in Southern California for a little while. And then we made the move up here, and I didn't want to stop the band just because I was moving. So I kind of commuted for gigs, bigger shows that we had down there we were able to do. And at the same time, kind of do some solo shows up here at different places. And I play at, for those that know, I play at, I'm a resident at Da Vinci's every third Thursday. And I play at Rembrandt's, and gosh, I just started a show at Vintage 61. So a lot of little places in town. Proof, I played at Old State. And so it's fun. I love doing the songs there. And what I also have done now is put together a version of the band up here. So we have some Boise guys up here doing the Dark Desert Highway. So now we can kind of be, it's not bi-coastal, but we can be by location there. And it's a lot of fun to do.
That's pretty neat. And then they have the opportunity to play with both your son and your brother.
Yes.
What an amazing opportunity that is.
It is. It's neat to keep that sort of what called the blood harmony there. And it sounds kind of neat there. So, yeah.
I mean, I could answer why the Eagles, because I think the Eagles are arguably one of the best bands ever, along with there are several from the 70s, right? And,
right.
But I'm just curious. There are so many iconic bands we could name, but what was it about the Eagles that made you vacillate to making them the band you wanted to tribute?
Well, it could have been a Beatles thing,
Okay,
because the Beatles are the best band of all time. Well, it's hard to argue that. But the Eagles seem to resonate with myself and my family a lot. We'd have some of my fondest memories, besides singing harmonies with my brother. We would have these family parties, and we seemed to almost invariably end with a round of Lion Eyes, all in a circle, trying to harmonize. Some, I won't name names, but some better singers of the family than others, but we still nonetheless did. So it made quite an impression at a young age, and it just was a natural fit. I'm like, you can't beat their songwriting still to this day. So besides the Beatles, they're the best American band, I think, of all time. But yeah, that's why I chose them. And I happen to look a little bit like Don, I think. And I've been told that before. And I just hopefully can pull off some songs of his and do him and the band justice.
Well, you have a great voice, so
I appreciate
that's good. Awesome.
I also do some Joe Walsh too in the band, because gotta have some Joe songs. So I changed my personality and become, "How you doing?" And then we go from there. So it's kind of fun. No one else was wanting to step up and do his weird song, so I volunteered.
So you do it, yeah.
So I take it for the team. Yeah.
I know when you do the solo, when you do your solo act, you do something that's very unique, where you laid down some of the harmony tracks prior. You want to share a little bit of how that works?
Yeah.
Because I know when you're doing a solo act, it's still very full sounding. It's not a typical.
It's a weird balance, Dan, because truth be told, I'm not a gifted musician. I feel like I can lean on the singing. And so I need some support. And I feel too nervous just doing what I did now for the whole 2 or 3 hours, or let's say 2-hour show around town, just playing that, because I'm not Stevie Ray Vaughan. So I don't want to lean on that. I want to lean on the singing. So what I've done is
you could get a really cool hat and become kind of Stevie.
There's so many great guitarists. I kind of almost gave up on trying to be a really fantastic guitar player, but I play a little rhythm. and I play keyboards. And I figured, if I can do the songs justice, delivering them, vocally. And I thought, well, why not? Because I found some places where I can get some of the background music along with me playing, and some instead of using their background vocals. No offense to the kind folks that make those tracks. I do my own. I record my own harmony, so it sounds like it's sort of related to me, and then I just take it and mix it to a point where it sounds like it almost could be just me up there. And I think what does it enhances the experience for people when they hear some of their favorite tunes from this. I focus mostly on the 70s, and there's some good 80s ones and some kind of sing-alongs in the last 20, 30 years as well. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how I do my show. I like to pay homage to all the great songs that we've come to know, and get attached to, I guess, is for lack of a better. Yeah,
that's super cool. Well, for guys my age, that's a perfect genre, and I would never get bored at your show. That's for sure.
I appreciate that. No, I don't like to do. I only do covers. I don't pull out and say, "Yeah, I wrote this last year for my cat." Just. They didn't come for that. They came, hopefully they came for the food and the drink, but also to stay a little longer and hang out with me a little bit. It's quite a thrill to just get an acknowledgement that I did a good job on a song or something. Mm-hmm. Like makes me go. I love it. Keeps me going to the next one.
That's neat. That's neat. And so do you? I know you work some of the wineries and the smaller bars and very very intimate locations. But are you available for private events for people wanted to book you?
Yes.
Okay.
I actually am. I've done a few kind of reception post wedding things, 70th birthday, 50th birthday, 50th anniversaries. I've done some of that in town here, and it's just great. It's great to be able to do the same thing. Just and I always run by the list of sort of songs and get approval from the host of the party just to see if it's I kind of customize the playlist a little bit like that, so it's all enjoyable stuff. And if there's of course a special song, I make sure I pull that out and do my best on that one as well.
Yeah. And if our listeners were interested in booking you for a private event, how would they reach you? Is there a website or an email that you would share?
Yes. My email is 99 Music Man, the number 99, MUSICMAN, 99musicman@gmail. And the website, yes, www.stevemusicmanceli.com, stevemusicmanceli.com. There you
go. You did share some of your upcoming or your regular shows, but do you have anything that's upcoming in the next February, March that you want to share with the listeners?
I'd love to. I just started a new place called Vintage 61. That was Thursday, and I'll be back there. At least they told me I'm going to be back. But I have a regular show every third Thursday at Da Vinci's. So coming up Thursday, day after Valentine's Day, we'll see you there. And then I don't really think I have coming up the rest of February. March we'll be back at Da Vinci's, but we have the bands coming to have a gig at a show at Three Horse Winery.
Oh, nice.
On Labor Day weekend.
Okay.
So that's coming up. And I think we're coming up with some other stuff. We got things in the summer and the fall. And when you have me back, I'll replug those. No,
perfect.
But and also darkdeserthighwayband.com is the band website.
Okay. So, and I would assume on both websites you have all your upcoming performances.
Yes. Okay. I try to keep it updated, but it's tough.
You're good on Facebook too. I notice you're always plugging where you're playing. So people follow you on Facebook. That would be good too.
Well, I do the Riverstone thing because I don't think we talked about that. I'm literally a neighbor here. I'm not only from Eagle, I'm actually from this actual neighborhood.
Development. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, you want to take us out with a part of a song?
Yes, sure. I only know one song, so I just did it. And...
Play it again.
Sure. I'll do a little something. And if I don't remember, thanks guys for watching. We'll see you around. See you around soon. I'll play us out a little something here. There's some solo Don Henley, maybe. So. I got the call today didn't want to hear, but I knew that it would come. An old true friend of ours was talking on the phone. Said you found someone. And I thought of all the bad luck and struggles we went through. How I lost me, and he lost you. What are all these voices outside life's open door? Make us throw up for contentment, beg for something more. I'm learning to live without you now. But ambitious sometimes, the more I know, the less I understand. All the things I thought I'd figured out, I have to learn again. Been trying to get down to the heart of the matter, but my will gets weak. And my thoughts seem to scatter, but I think it's about forgiveness. Forgiveness, even if you don't love me anymore.
Very nice.
Thanks
Steve
for having me.
Celi, thank you so much for that. And thank you for sharing so much about yourself. And what a great music story. And no wonder they call you the Music Man.
I appreciate you so much. Thanks for this opportunity.
Absolutely. And thank you for joining the Idaho Podcast. We'll see you again next time. Take care.